Oh, cool. Is he not up at the place in Northwest?
No, he's still out there. He's just working. He's home. Built out all day and stuff. So we're moving to like Lisa and Broadway.
The shop?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we bought
Get away from all your neighbors.
Yeah, the neighbors are great down here.
Your unwanted.
the right to dream isn't bad at all. There's like it's more like just like wandering crackheads and
Oh
junkies.
man.
There's like walking down Cooch. There's like a spot. There's like this doorway where everybody shoots up or smokes crack or whatever, and it's like in eyesight of the police station. Like you can like look one way and then look the other way, and then it's just a clean.
Really?
Nobody gets a fucking. It's like not one fucking.
In some respects, I like it because it's keeping a little bit of grit to the city,
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
and it's not just becoming fucking Seattle, but.
Guys, if we could just dump them off over at like Division and Williams.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like they take vacations to different spots.
Yeah, we could have a party bus.
Yeah.
Totally. Party bus, go to Mississippi, go up to Alberta Arts District.
Right. Whatever people are complaining about,
like a great I don't know, art project or something.
you could accomplish
Just
it.
like
Just like any new condo.
Just bring down the property level a little bit.
Yeah.
The property, yeah. I was looking at my calendar. Hi guys, thanks for coming. I'm gonna just try to give a little curiosity speech of curious things that I'm into. The sort of outline is very contradictory, and I think that's sort of how I am in a way. So I'm gonna just kind of like go through different videos that I've worked on, and hopefully that inspires me to talk more about it and come up with, a little bit more, because I'm not normally a speaker of these sorts. So, my speech is called I Heart Motorcycles because it's been the thing that my parents kept me away from the most, and it's the thing that I've fixated on the hardest. So, I have 20 plus motorcycles, a motorcycle show, put on motorcycle show. Races, all kinds of different things that involve motorcycling. So I guess I'll sort of the thing that I've got going on here. This is me jumping a bunch of people after we completed a Kickstarter for those books that are on the back there. So this part is sort of how it all started, turning a hobby into a job. Here, I'll get this going just so that it has time to load because my computer was born a few years ago. So, 1 second here. So yeah, the main thing is that you don't want to kill your hobbies with jobs, but you always do. So there's like this balance that you have to maintain, I think. But I kind of wanted to go through some of my early experiences in Portland with turning a hobby into a job, and maybe it kind of gives a little bit of insight, and it's kind of funny how it worked. I don't know if you can. So this is a video we worked on back when I was 21, 22 maybe. So, I mean, clearly riding loops is not my but things is definitely simultaneously that they had released pocket bikes. England and myself got together and thought of what is the most ridiculous thing that we could possibly come up with, and it just turned out to be that, you know, the loop notice that didn't really end anywhere. It just went straight off, and there was a pond scum there. So having been years mini bike loop, we did everything from building it, getting the whole thing done. So I kind of put here is hobby equals manual work. It takes a lot of work to kind of do something different, and you know, I'd build skate. Because when I was about to go do it, I'd Googled how to do a mini bike loop in hopes that somebody would have some insight as to like how to go through it. And the only thing that came up was how to break your neck doing a mini bike loop. And I don't know who wrote that, but it freaked me out pretty good. And that first time you saw me go into the wall at like 30 miles an hour, I didn't really understand the grace of it. I was just like brute force trying to get through it. It was actually a kind of a fun learning experience. Like one of those things that nobody can tell you how to do. You just have to figure out on your own. And so it was kind of interesting. But yeah, this is me building the loop here. So it was kind of cool, you know. It was a lot of fun to do that. In fact, so we went through. Just skip along because this is going to go a little slow if I keep doing it this way. But so we built the loop, and so I kind of went backwards. So we did the loop, and then we built the loop in the slideshow here. But the first time I did the loop, it got picked up by the guys over at Jackass too, because Dave England's affiliation and stuff, and they thought it was just pretty cool. So they flew me out to Florida to not only help them build the loop because I'd been the only one that could do it, but also be a part of doing the loop in Jackass 2, which is a really, really fun and, you know, life-changing experience in a lot of ways, good and bad. But so I guess my point is like, how can you change your hobby into work seamlessly with still having a lot of fun, you know? And I think it comes from the soul, you know. It's like you're doing something because you really enjoy it, and you really just have to maintain that balance of work and fun. and that's always sort of been my main theme with what I do. So I just want to show you guys this really quick, just because this is another version of the loop here. Yeah, they've changed the language, which is funny. I was much better at it this time around. That's Aaron there. So that wasn't me. Right there I was whistling and they said, he's mocking the loop. And there's a funny thing about doing a loop that you would never realize unless you'd had you done it. And when you're riding a motorcycle, you look through corners, right? And that's your body follows your head sort of deal. So if you took a loop and unraveled it, it actually becomes two corners. So one thing I never realized going into it is that you have to look one way and then you have to look the opposite way at 90 degrees. And it's really hard for your brain to wrap your head around that. And I finally figured it out. So I think I could actually do it pretty well every time now. I'm not going to, but I probably could. So, oh, I just messed up. Are we still all right there? Yeah, okay. So that was like, what the heck? What am I doing here? Sorry, guys. There we go. So that was sort of my introduction to Portland is doing something as a hobby and for fun, trying to make my money elsewhere, and then it eventually sort of turned into this thing. To give you a little background, do you guys have speakers or no? No.
Yeah, actually, give me a minute.
Okay. I was going to give this little background thing. It was a piece that Lance Bangs did on me, like an interview piece, and it kind of went through the whole like building something, testing it, and putting it to use. Oh, well, thank you. There we go. It's a little hot in here. Sorry, guys. So, I mean, I could just try to play it, but it's going to be really quiet. In fact, I don't even know if I should because it's going to be so quiet. But I'll just talk over it and kind of give you guys like a little bit of. So when I first moved to Portland, I'd done those commercials for Nike, and I sort of started this business building creative stuff for different companies, and I was just independent contractor and having a lot of fun doing it, and I'd get to work on movie sets, and basically if people could come up with the idea, I could pretty much build it. And I did some work for Lance Bangs, who is a director for music videos, and he did this little piece on me afterwards because he was pretty intrigued by the whole, just carelessness, riding, wrecking, having fun, but sort of maintaining some balance as well. So, yeah, this is my old house there. This is when I'm like 20. Oh, you do? Boombox.
Yeah. It's not the greatest.
Yeah, let's move this helmet here. Sorry, guys. Yeah. All right. What the heck? Uh-oh, what the heck happened? Oh, it's just going through. Oh, I hit the wrong thing, that's why. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Sorry, guys. up on this trampoline, and there's just. Okay, it's loading now. At first, I was so bummed out. Like, oh, great. So it's just a little introduction. It doesn't really matter to what I was doing, but.
It's fine. Let's go check out the bikes.
I first met Thor when I was making a film for Aerosmith. Some of the Jackass guys recommended him as somebody who could build anything and then ride it as well.
We're downstairs in my basement. One in particular, the first bike to go roll it. I don't know if it starts anymore, but it's pretty trash. It's kind of simultaneously like the loop craze.
I said this.
Like everybody wanted to do a loop, so I was just thinking that it would be really funny to do a loop. I mean, it seemed possible or whatever. All these old bikes here, we stole from the Salton Sea. We drove out there in this rusty old truck, and they're vintage, like really old bikes that are hard to find. And we just loaded them up. And it's like, oh, they race them up here, so we're gonna restore a few of them.
I sold them. They're gone.
Something in Portland, I've had a lot of jobs. I've had a few crappy jobs. I was a dishwasher for a while. I was kind of, to be honest with you. But primarily, like every job I've ever had revolved around building things, design, mainly just like building things. I really like to build things. Get my skateboard! Woo! So I got hired by Nike China to design that display for their Jordan 20 shoe. So I just came up with this, like, kind of stupid, but it was based on the shock. They have different density shocks inside the soles. So I just, like, thought of it over. And so they made it, but then they told me that they weren't going to build it. They just totally, like, lied to me right to my face. You know, we didn't make that. No, it's too complicated, too much money, all this stuff. And then they totally made it.
How did you find out they actually made it? Did someone show you a picture, or how did you find out?
My friend called me and he was like, look, these guys actually made the thing.
So that was part one. This is part two. As you can see, I use things that are not to be intended to be. I guess, sort of.
Need
Oh, really?
Product?
I'm actually a sneaking that one in there.
Just like at home.
Imprint.com.
What's the worst anyone's gotten hurt on something you built?
Good question. I think it would have to be me. Definitely built some sketchy things. It was funny, we were riding on skateboard trucks and wheels that had guitars, and we would take them off launch ramps.
I'm really proud of this move.
Skateboard wheels on.
One of the coolest things I've ever done.
Because you're like 2 feet off the ground, trying to skate down this all over the place, and of course David was throwing chairs at you. That was really a bad idea. We actually found that location by like 4 years before we did that shoot. To go snowboarding or whatever, and we kind of looked over in the distance and we see these giant ski ramps and we're like, what is that?
Do you have any idea what it was built for, or what it was?
Yeah, I think it was originally built like back in the 70s for like Olympic ski jump training, and it's just like overgrown now and pretty rotted out. Like you can shake the whole top of it and it sways back and forth. show too. That was pretty ridiculous. We had the whole backstage pass, and apparently it was Kiss and Aerosmith, and we got front row seats pretty much, so you could see. The best part I thought was definitely Gene Simmons. Like, the dude is awful. Looks like a grandpa in tights, and we were so close that you could see like the cellulite in his holes in his pants, and it just I couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Recently I had an idea for a Phenomena video where I wanted 3 trampolines welded together so that the band members could jump up and down while rolling down the street. One of the most fun things about working with Thor is that when he thinks he's done building something, he's usually willing to just take it out into traffic and try it himself.
So that was just a little piece that Lance did on me, and I thought it was kind of fun, and I liked to do it, and it was I thought it was pretty accurate in some ways. You know, I think living in Portland is kind of a special place because you meet some of the coolest people that are doing really interesting things and really nice people, and I think that everybody works as a community here, and that's kind of been a big thing to everything that I've ever done is like I rarely will buy something from somebody I don't know or try to support something that I don't really know anybody at. I feel like everything has to have a connection, and I think that's just something that I learned growing up in the skateboard and snowboard world. You know, it's just like you're anti whatever that your parents were into, and that just sort of happened to be skate, you know, like the big box shops, and you just got really into skate shops and stuff. And I just try to really bring that spirit to, you know, motorcycling, which didn't seem to really exist in my circles. I'm sure it did in a lot of places, but so you know, this is an Iron and Air, the magazine that just ran a story on me or whatever recently, and I just Ray Gordon took the photo, and I just love the feeling that it evokes is like happiness, you know, and that's sort of been the theme for everybody that I've wanted to do with. It's just they're doing it because they love it. These are some people that have helped me out and are our tight group. This is my girlfriend Tori. I think she's here. She's an excellent motorcycle rider. There's no there. I was chasing her down. George, my business partner, and Emily. She's our shop manager. There's Dave England, George, and Ray, and myself. That's Dylan, our shop manager. JP and my little flipping him off. And Drake, one of my heroes. Schmidt, Films, a personal friend of mine. Ornamental Conifer. It off. Pro AMA Yamaha racer that has really inspired me to do a lot of stuff. In fact, he won Daytona MotoGP, Grand National back in like the late 70s, and he had his helmet stolen right after the race. So I got this new helmet here, and I painted it up just exactly like his helmet. He's really gullible, so he thinks it's actually his helmet, and we were supposed to surprise him by it. We're going to put it in a thrift shop and be like, "Oh, your helmet resurfaced," but he saw a picture of it, and so he knows I have it now. But his son, this guy, told him that somebody had given it to me. So it should be pretty. He'll be pretty confused when I give it back to him because I tried to paint it as accurately as possible. So, that was a good joke there. Not fitting in. I fit in the tires good, but that's. I think I think my insecurity causes a lot of inspiration in my life. So I was born in Norway and I was raised in Arizona, which is pretty confusing to a young chap. And I think just from being a little weird and a little different, and then also being weird on top of that, I just sort of always have struggled to fit in. And I think it creates a little bit of insecurity with me, but then it also like creates a bit of rage. And I really have to attack things because I have to figure out how they work and try to do things different. So one thing that I've really tried to do with motorcycling is add something that I think is interesting. And I've got this opportunity where I run my own shop and own business, and nobody's telling me that it won't sell, it won't be good, it won't, whatever fucking people want to say no, So I think that the whole not fitting in thing, it's about the hardest thing ever to deal with, but it really has created a lot of inspiration for me. And I've tried to use it. Here's a little ad campaign that we did that was just meant, it was nonsensical fun, it was just meant to be inspire people to go out and have a good time. This is Tori and Emily doing a tug of war. You'll see how that ends. My little brother riding my bike there. I dressed him up in a jail outfit. He was pretty confused about that. This is a funny. This is kind of like, I think this is the photo that inspired it, because I just pictured this guy riding through leaves or whatever, and it's funny. This photo's been stolen by so many people. Bike bandits stole, just blatantly ripped it off and tried to say that it was their own. So this is Tori. We threw a bunch of flour at her, but it just looks apocalyptic and cool. Here's a hill climb. This one isn't as interesting. This one was kind of fun, jumping over some fire. They were throwing gas on the fire, so it was kind of coming up over around me. And where's George? He's mesmerized by the fire. He always stares at the fire. Where is he? So that was a campaign that we actually worked on with Chrome a little bit. They helped us fund it a little bit, and their sort of brief was elements. So I took that elements thing and kind of went with it, and was just thinking of different skits that would kind of be inspired by it. And that went off so well. We got, I don't know, it was crazy, man. 93,000 views on Vimeo for a small shop on Sandy is pretty incredible. So kind of inspired us to do the round two, which is this thing, which I'll show you guys here if it works. It's what I call moto food fantasy. It's my two favorite things in life. Food and, what is this? No. Oh wait, I do want that. Sorry. I'm really proud of this piece. Awesome. Why can't they make the internet one speed? You know what I mean? There he goes. I want to do a whole cooking show where there's somebody doing a burnout everywhere. Sorry, guys. So basically, I mean, the nonsensicalness mixed with the overproduced nice camera equipment and you know, that kind of creates something in it that's completely different. Oh, there we go. That's kind of what we were going for. Hot dogs. So this video is great because it got put on a lot of blogs that was picked up by a lot of people like in the middle of the country, and they really were confused by it. And there was some good commentary like, I don't know why I just wasted 3 minutes of my life, and then and it was great. Like there were people that were actually sticking up for us, and one thing that was really funny was like, well, if you look a little further, these guys sell hot dogs and coffee. It may be advertising that you're looking at. Like, there's just a chance. I don't know. But that was just like a lot of fun to just. It was almost a big old middle finger towards like everybody that was just taking themselves too seriously about their videos, and we really wanted it to just inspire fun and something different. So, and it was. I was going to show you the other video of the chrome elements thing, but I don't know if there's going to be time. I've got a lot of videos here, so. Wait, where are we at here? Oh yeah, this is, I built last of like this style of videos, nonsensical videos, I guess. I built this bike for Gerber knives, and in the spirit of West Coast choppers or Orange County choppers or whatever, I did the whole theme bike and strapped knives to it and swords, and the bike's a bit of an underpowered, silly bike in the first place. So it's what they call, what was it, CL 90, and it's really not good for anything. So I mean, it's good for having fun. So that's sort of what I tried to do with it here. I really like that one because it makes me look a little crazy, or really crazy. But when I kind of told the editor and director of that one, I just said, I kind of want it to be like the end. Like, it came out like wonderfully. I love that one. So, so that's sort of, I guess, at this point, I'm trying to explain the insecurity and rage aspect of things. This is my stab at trying to explain the building of things. So I guess I've always been a builder, and you guys saw the first videos of me building stuff. And after that, the economy took a real bad tank, and people cut their budgets and expected me to do more work and better work for half the price, and I was really over it. So I decided to go to a program at Wieden & Kennedy that was basically an advertising program, the people that were hiring me. So I wanted to kind of get the insight as to why people were asking more and charging less. So I went through this advertising program, and in the process had started, I built a custom bike, and I started telling people, wouldn't it be great if we opened a shop? And then I just turned it into, we're opening a shop. And then I told so many people that I felt bound by my word that I would look like a flake if I didn't. So we opened CC Motorcycles about the same year actually when I got out of the advertising program, and we opened it in a small industrial zone, and it was primarily like workspace for people to screw around with, and a small retail shop. And I think I started it with $300 in stickers, because that's how you start a company. You buy stickers or T-shirts, I think. So we started that way, and it was an amazing experience because the amount of stuff that I learned in a short amount of time was priceless. And I was sort of floundering. Now looking back, my first business attempt was, it had the right intention, I think, but it was just not the right way to set things up. It was in a small area that was off the. We were still building stuff and doing stuff, but something needed to be done, and that's when George, my current business partner, kind of approached me and said, "Hey, what if we do this? Open a cafe." I'll play this one in a second, actually, because you got to see this one. But he said, "What if we open a cafe and a motorcycle shop, and we'll still do what we do, the shows, building bikes." And so, I just want to take this opportunity to show everybody, like, kind of the process of the building. We got this old building from this guy. He said the roof was fine. It wasn't. And the place was so, like, terrible. I mean, I could barely even see what it is today. It was just, you walked in there, and it was like layers and layers of Home Depot, and a drop ceiling that was covering up the skylight, and even the color outside was like a milky orange, like probably the discount landlord paint that everybody uses. It was just a really terrible building. So we went in there and just gutted everything, just got everything out of there. And so here's like some pictures of it. There's a guy creeping in the corner there. It may be haunted in there. I don't know. This is where the bar is now, and here. This is sort of looking back out towards the entrance. So I just want to show some of the process of the build. Here's the small retail zone here. This is when I did the old man, where you paint the outline of the tools. There's Tori helping me seal in the countertops. But basically, we didn't have a budget for the build. We just took stuff that we had laying around. I used my old shop floor from the previous space to build the bar fronts. old frames I had laying around to build the uprights. I even used my penny collection from when I was 10 years old to seal in all the hardware on the bar top. And it's funny to think about it because I'd never really sat down and sketched out the whole design. I just kind of went for it and just worked on flow and what I was into. And the years of building crap, I just kind of applied. And the building is it's probably the most unlevel square building in all of Portland, and everything that I built in there was square. Like this whole wall here is, I think there's another photo here. Yeah, there's this whole wall filled with helmets now, and it's all square gridded off. This back wall here, I used the drop ceiling, or the stucco ceiling, and made it all a big grid square. And yeah, it's just. I mean, it's basically the accumulation of everything that I've ever worked on, and it's sort of my dream paradise job. I love going to work, which is cool, you know. But so this is kind of where we're at now. Like we've got the whole place opened up. It's doing really good, and it's kind of hard to believe. I'm going to show you those rollerblades after I go through the bikes. This is the first bike. This is kind of the bike that kicked it off for me. I did this bike 7 years ago. It's a modern rendition of a cafe racer. It's an XR 400 dirt bike that has been converted to look a little bit sleeker, cooler. And it was just it's a concept bike, you know. And since I made that 7 years ago, it's really caught on, and a lot of people are now doing that conversion because it's affordable and people really get into it because there's probably the affordability and the coolness factor, I guess. But that's sort of why I started CC. There's one of that $300 order stickers. We just got a lot of really good press for that bike. You know, I think that for us to be a very authentic brand and shop, we have to participate in all aspects of what we like. And so motorcycling, custom builds, racing, that's all part of it. This is another build that I did, and sorry about the bad photo. This bike was a cursed bike. I love this bike, and I hate it at the same time. So I've properly named it Cujo. I've written a whole story about it in Sideburn magazine, but it's a DT 400 that's cursed, and it's taken out multiple people, including the previous owner and myself. It's blown up a handful of times, and I don't know why I don't just sell it. I tried to once, and nobody would buy it, so I think I'm just stuck with it at this point. This is the first bike I built at the new location of CC. It's just a retro-looking, actually vintage bike, and I don't know. It's just a bike that I built, so I built it for a customer. First bike out of the CC location. Presently. This is a bike that, this is a bike that I just finished. It's kind of, I took the ugliest bike that I could find and tried to make it cool looking. It's a DR200, like everyday beginner bike, electric start, really simple, easy, air-cooled, like user-friendly, easy bike, and just tried to make it really cool. And it's got removable surface racks. And a surfboard that actually matches the bike. A little bit cheesy, but whatever. And this is the last bike that I've finished. It's a Triumph 900 Scrambler that I just made look like a vintage desert sled is what they call it. So those are just some of the builds that we've done. You know, building things is sort of my going back to the hobby, it's my hobby, and it's become more my hobby because I have to do so much computer work now, because I have a business and I have to put on events and all that stuff. So it's unfortunate, but kind of fortunate at the same time. I've never really made any money building bikes for people, which is weird. I have to figure that one out, but at the same time, I'm like hesitant. So yeah, I just have to show this because I'm so proud of this. The weirdest way. back in, after we did the loop the first time, we also did this world's largest pair of rollerblades, and we did it because there was the world's largest skateboard. And we were like, well, what about rollerblades? I don't rollerblade, but you can see I'm actually pretty good at it. So we did the world's largest pair of rollerblades. There you go. So I can build a lot of different things, and it's funny. We actually did that video on Gay Pride Day, and there was a big gay parade going through downtown, and people were like, "Why are you guys over on this side?" We're like, "What? Just because they're rollerblades doesn't mean they're gay." It was fun, but I don't know. I just thought you guys get a kick out of that one. All right, here, back to the slideshow here. Back to more serious stuff. Are there more beers back there? Does anybody need a beer? Is there more beers? Pass them around if somebody needs one. It's hot in here. Oh no, what happened? Thank you. What? All right. So I'm also just not very good with computers, so. So, you know, a big part of being inspired and I think wanting to go to work is that you just have to take some time away from it. Things that are uncomfortable and kind of challenge you in different ways. Strongly believe it is inspired by things that aren't connected basis. It's just one of the things I wanted to kind of the things that are sort of most inspiring are away from being on a motorcycle, which I am on a motorcycle right there, and here too. But this was just a trip we just took out. I just got back from 2,500 miles on an old '74 Harley Davidson, and you get these moments where you forget about work and you forget about life, and you are thinking about them in the distance, but you're really focused on being right there and kind of looking at yourself in a way. And I think that those are important moments to inspire yourself and to be excited about doing what you do. And I think we had a few of those moments, but I had this moment, look right here, there was this sun coming through and it was no temperature at all. It was just perfect. And it was just cool to like sit back and think in a way. And then, canoeing and camping, it's very important stuff. So sort of the last part of second to last part of my speech is hosting a good party. So I put on this tiny little show called the One Motorcycle Show. It's grown to be, this is our 5th year, and it's grown to be a monster. I spend 6 months out of the year curating, dealing. I mean, there's so many different aspects that I wouldn't, had I known when I started it, I don't think I would have gone down that path. It's just endless, the tiny little details, and that's what really counts when you're throwing something that's supposed to be good. So we were in our 5th year of the show, and last year we had the snow, of course, and that was a whole new set of things to deal with. The whole point of the show from the beginning was to make something that was not a show, that was actually more of a gathering of like-minded people. And it was pretty harebrained. I actually started it in my advertising program because I was sick of working on whatever I was working on. It was boring. But so I started this thing that I really, felt passionately about, and it was designed to be for younger builders, garage builders, people that didn't really have a chance at like going to a big show. And it was pretty regional. We just did it in Portland in a small warehouse down where my old shop was, and it was pretty harebrained, but we had a good, probably 35, 40 bikes turn out that first year, and over 1,000 people, and it was far better than I ever expected. And because of that, decided to do a second year and started developing a vision that I would do it for 10 years, and in that 10 years, I would have an influence over some aspect of motorcycling, and I felt like that would be a commendable thing to strive for if you're going to put a lot of effort into something. So we just got done with our 5th year. Each year we've taken really good photographs and documented every single bike, because there's something to the yearbook thing that is kind of interesting. So we've got those 2 books back there. If you guys haven't seen them, you should take a look. They're kind of neat. I built them, the first one in my spare time, which I didn't have very much spare time. I built it in my extra time. And we got them privately funded by basically everybody that believed in the show. We raised $60,000 to cover the cost of the books in under 45 days through Kickstarter. And it was a pretty amazing experience. I worked a full-time job trying to get those suckers done in that small amount of space. But we did do it, and it was pretty amazing. And right now I'm in the production of working on 3 and 4, and then after those are done, I'll have the 5th year book done. But we've documented every single year of the books. So here's year 3. I don't know, should I even play year 3? I think it's getting a little hot in here, so let's just go to 4. This is this last year, and I'm sure some of you guys have seen it, so I apologize if you have. It's short. This is the commercial. Sorry. But I like this commercial. that sentiment came out from the fact that the guy who'd been waiting for that bike, because that was a customer bike, had been waiting for 3 years, and he said, "You're trying patience I never knew I even had." And I felt a little bad for it, but at the same time, I didn't charge him. So, and so the whole sentiment was they don't build themselves. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that one they did to make fun of him.
Yeah, and then the bar, the coffee shop.
So this is a little bit of a production that goes into doing the show.
This is going to be the biggest one show yet.
And then down this road is going to be a whole line of bikes. During the show is when everything either falls apart or comes together.
Magazine about crashing. The reason that I've gotten 5 years into this is because people have said really nice things about it. Finding a good location is really tricky, and I just don't think the one show would be quite as spectacular if it was in the convention center.
Thor is emailing a billion bike builders.
I kind of anticipate a certain amount of problems because I'm building a bike simultaneously. Seeing the bike built is probably less romantic than what people think it is. I got the bike maybe 30 days ago, maybe. Have been furiously working on it since then. I'm really excited about the bike, but I'm hoping the stars align and I can get it done in time for the show.
Yesterday, when we went flat tracking, was the first day that he didn't go into work to touch the bike or anything.
Yeah, there's like the regular crew. We're actually probably more on the weird side of people that show up. Most of the people that show up to the races have modern bikes. We like have vintage bikes, and with my brother. So I'll just run in really quick and get some beer.
Flat track's the best way to get into racing and not get hurt and not money. Good, how are you? Yeah, I know, it's cool.
I just have to keep my potassium levels up because I travel and I get sick.
Nico, he's painted all the awards for the show.
It's kind of nice to get someone a handmade trophy rather than just a little, fake golden cup. They're not meant to be serious, They're meant to be like light-hearted. I know what's up with that seat award could be taken the wrong way, but if you're going to have an extravagant seat, you should be ready to be ridiculed.
It's not your typical motorcycle show. This is like more like a kind of a curated art show with motorcycles. This year we're making like a true build out of CC inside the one show so people can have that CC experience while they're looking at a bunch of cool bikes.
21 helmet show, it kind of went hand in hand with customizing your motorcycle.
He always chooses 21 artists that are kind of different mediums.
From like a tattoo artist to a jeweler to a painter.
This seemed like a cool addition. Custom motorcycles go well with custom helmets.
They've been able can't think of one other artist that uses the medium that he uses, which is kind of a new thing, actually.
It's like a backyard party, and it's just grown into a big garage backyard bonfire party.
Worked hard on the life, 40 years I've paid my dues. I got one hell of a life, 40 years I've had to lose. I gotta go. Let's just come in like a tornado and just like stress the shit out of these people.
It's gonna be a lot to pick because I don't feel like very many people are gonna ride their bikes.
Oh, you can't really do anything about the snow, I guess. Didn't expect it, I'll tell you that. Can't do anything about it. Hopefully, everybody has a good time. And if not, well, I guess that's just the shit.
So I guess if you guys,
Jesus Christ, this guy's some money.
sorry.
Bring that to the context. Jesus Christ.
I'll let that load up real quick. It was really cool. This company reached out to me, Juliet Zulu, and they said they wanted to help do the video, just to, help the scene and do something cool on their reel and stuff. And they actually put out that first part one or part two, was it, the day of the show, and it was really cool for everybody that wanted to be there that couldn't make it to kind of see the production and some of the stuff that went into it. And then about a week after, we came out with this one.
The idea was inspired by the fact that there wasn't really a show for small-time builders or non-traditional chopper builders. We started 5 years ago, and there was a few customs, but it wasn't anywhere near what it is today.
We bring writers from all over the country, and now even this year, the world.
With David, the designer at El Saltario, he reinvents himself each bike and doesn't build things traditionally. The Bush brothers are building the bike on the way to the show. They're both from Reno. They stole the 8-track player out of Danny's truck. A bunch of cool details, with the cigarette lighter and lots of velvet. These two bikes were built by Kano out of New York. He's one of the guys responsible for the Brooklyn Invitational. This bike was one of my favorites. It's a panhead. The guy hand cast pretty much every single part on this bike. It was a really impressive bike and so different than every other bike in the show. Ginger from New Church. About a week before the show, she lent her bike to a friend to go race. It clearly wasn't the best idea because he crashed it, completely smashed the tank. So an ornamental conifer painted the tank. Never lend your Yamaha to Brandon. This bike is built by Chopper Dave, the turbocharged Sportster motor, and he said he'd like to race it, but it might be a bit of a handful. This bike, Drake McElroy, it looks like it sat outside for quite a while. It's really rusty. Drake built it 2 days before the show. It's funny how I know everything about every single bike in the show. The bike I built, 2012 Triumph Scrambler, I built it for Chrome. I just built the bike exactly how I would want it. I really dig this bike. It's probably the best bike I've built today. The cool thing about the show is that there are so many different kinds of bikes. Each year I've sort of set a new goal to accomplish and double the experience of the show.
People come for the art and for the camaraderie.
it's cool that it's a community of people that self-govern. There's respect to each bike, there's respect to each builder. I personally believe that rules are meant to be broken, and I hate rules. I can't deal with rules very well. Rules I can't deal with very well.
When the cops are chasing you, it's not really a bad thing. It's a good thing. You just run from the cops.
Everybody just wastes the day away. The awards are meant to be fun. It's usually the people that don't know that they were even in contention that get them. So I give out the One Show Award. It's an award that I hand select. Skip's been a major influence to a lot of people. Felt right giving it to him. He was pretty caught off guard by it. This is Skip Axlin's one of 7 TZ 750s. It's a factory Yamaha bike that was raced in 3 races. I don't know the actual value of it. It's 1 of 7. It's probably $500,000 and the most amazing bike in the show. It was just a special year. Like, it was just number 5. Like, I don't think anybody will ever forget it. You know, the idea is to just keep going forward and keep it always getting better. Being on the forefront of that is definitely my goal.
So yeah, that's. I think that summed up. It's definitely like a thing that I've taken a lot of. People they don't understand the amount of work that goes into it. I think some people do, a lot of people don't, and the people who I really thrive on positive show. And you know, this next year, one thing that I've sort of taken from all these experiences is, you know, you can build a bike. Anybody could build a bike. Anybody could build something that looks neat with the, you know, infinite budget. And one thing that I've really tried to, sorry, I'm trying to get back to my thing here. One thing that I've sort of seen happening and want to promote is that, you know, from the dawn of man, people have always raced to strive to be better, and that's something that I really, really support. I love racing. I feel like everybody can get out there and do a little bit of racing. So recently we put on this show, we put on this race with Sideburn Magazine out of UK, and it was called Dirtquake. It was a flat track, dirt track race, and it's meant to be for beginners, people who've never raced in their life or even thought they could. It's basically, you can run what you like, have a good time, and I just want to show you that little video, and you know, just say that I really, you know, hope that you guys, if you guys ride motorcycles, you try to race one day, because you'll be hooked afterwards. Where is it? Aha, here it is. Is this it? Oh, maybe I didn't put it in there. Anyways, it's right here. So yeah, we just hosted this about a month, 2 months ago maybe, and it went far better than I ever imagined as far as turnout went, and people were just generally excited about racing, and because of it, I think I've seen a lot of excitement. Actually, I know I've seen people that have never raced go on to start racing in their local areas, you know, be it Canada or anywhere else, but you know, the number one thing about racing is that you can't fake it on the track. You have to get out there and try and like do well. So something that I really support. I think it's the one thing that's gonna, you know, over the time, styles die out, things die out, but racing will always like be the thing. So something I really promote. We have a small race team. I race. Everybody that shop has been on the track. Everybody that works for me rides bikes and has actually been on a racetrack before, which is really cool. But yeah, here's the dirt.
paper and some reindeer. We have a car, but anyway, dear, we'll stay as we are. Keeping it cute, oh, the grocer, don't we have fun? Tax collectors getting closer, still we have fun. There's nothing surer, the rich get rich and the poor get poorer. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun? Don't we have fun?
So yeah, that was the dirt quake race that we put on, and it was, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it was inappropriate road bike, chopper, women's, and the kitchen sink. Sorry. And it was a fantastic race. Like the energy there was so good, and I think it really inspired a lot of people to get out there and do some more racing. And I don't know, I guess that's pretty much all I got. I'm sure it was a bit confusing. I'm kind of a confusing guy, but hopefully there's some in that little pond. There's some information that was I don't know, spark some curiosity or. So thanks, guys.
Just because it's so warm, I'm suggesting that if you have any questions, you just come up and ask, and we're gonna wrap it up. But thanks so much. That's awesome.
Well, thanks.
We return August 28th with Nora Wendell of PSU and Coleman Stevenson of the Art Institute with their talk, Paper Houses. The only difference between reality and fiction is that fiction needs to be credible, Mark Twain once commented. It is precisely in the tense space between reality and fabrication that architects and authors alike must work. constructing alternate speculative worlds that are so believable clients will show their faith through financial and political support, so authentic that readers will live inside of scenes and forge relationships with characters. It is in this liminal space that Coleman Stevenson and Nora Wendell have constructed the Center for Fictive Architecture, a framework for their projects. In this talk, they discuss those ideas that form the basis of their current collaborations, in particular the related natures of architecture and let's have another round of applause for
Thanks. Yeah, no, thanks. Thanks so much.